So many runners are finishing up their fall marathons, and in this video, I want to give you a step-by-step protocol for your marathon recovery, starting from the moment you cross that finish line till a week later. Let's dive in. The marathon is such a hard event, partly because of how long it is, but also because of how short it is. That means you can run it fast. And they're usually held on the roads, which make the muscle damage even more significant. So let's get started and talk about how to recover from a marathon, starting from the second you cross that finish line. Okay, step number one, when you cross that finish line of your marathon, is to keep moving. The last thing you want to do is sit down and just stay in a seated position for a lengthy period of time, because you might not be able to get back up again. You're going to feel much tighter over the course of the day. So let's keep moving for at least 10 minutes. Now, if you're running a marathon like the New York City Marathon, this isn't a problem because you've got to walk out of Central Park. A lot of marathons help you do this by providing you with this opportunity to go meet your family, and you usually have to walk a little bit of a distance to do so. So keep walking for a little bit after your marathon, because you want that little bit of an off-ramp from marathon intensity back down to being sedentary. And step number two is do everything you can to ingest as many calories as possible right after you finish the marathon. Your body is in a state of a calorie deficit. So not only do you need to focus on food, but you also need to focus on your hydration. And this is the time period where you can't really be too concerned about the quality of the calories that you're consuming. Let's just focus on getting those calories in your body so that you can jumpstart the glycogen restocking process that has to happen, as well as start repairing your muscles. So be pretty agnostic when it comes to the food. Just try to get in whatever you can. And then maybe about an hour later or 2 hours later, you can have a more well-balanced meal. And this is the meal where you can go a little crazy. You just did run a marathon after all. So if you want to have that double cheeseburger with bacon with an extra side of fries and a beer, I think that's totally fine. Your body needs those calories and will use all of that energy from the food that you're eating at restock your sugar stores, as well as repairing those muscles. I would also love to see you take an ice bath. Yes, we've heard many times that ice baths can compromise your adaptations to all the exercise that you're doing. That's why we don't want to do an ice bath after every single long run or every workout that we do. But the point of what you do after a marathon isn't to gain the fitness from your marathon, because that's not how that works. We want to mitigate all the damage that you just did to your body. This is where an ice bath can help reduce pain, it can help you feel better, and it can reduce inflammation. The next thing I would love to see is a nap. Sleep is undeniably your number one most important recovery tool that you have at your disposal, so let's not skimp on it. You're probably not going to be able to sleep, especially if you were supplementing with caffeine during your marathon, which is a good idea for performance reasons. But if you can nod off for as little as 20 minutes, but preferably maybe an hour, maybe a full hour and a half, so you can get the benefits of an entire sleep cycle, that is really going to help jumpstart the recovery process and actually help your body begin the process of cellular repair, which you definitely need after a marathon. Now, if you can't get in a nap, I know that's asking a lot. Just do your best to rest. Have some downtime where you're not on with friends and family. You're not trying to do work. You're not walking around the city. You're just sitting down, resting, reading, watching TV, just having a little bit of downtime. This is really going to help your recovery in the days to come.
You know, I'm not that big into supplements, but I do love AG1 by Athletic Greens. I consider it my nutrition insurance, helping me cover all my bases so I know I'm not missing out on anything my body needs, especially when I'm training really hard. I try to eat really well, but of course, AG1 is that extra security that gives me peace of mind over my diet. 1 scoop per day, and I'm getting 75 vitamins and minerals, prebiotics, probiotics, antioxidants, and adaptogens. You can try it out too at athleticgreens.com/Jason, and they're going to throw in a free year's worth supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs. Check it out at athleticgreens.com/Jason.
Now I want to tell you what not to do. Don't do a lot of static stretching. Static stretching is just going to further irritate your already damaged muscles. It's not going to help with recovery whatsoever, and it's not even going to help you feel good. I know stretching can feel good after a long run or a workout or even some races, but not after a marathon. There's just too much damage for you to get really anything out of it. The other thing that I want you to avoid is any massage. This includes self-massage. So skip the trigger point ball and the foam roller. Don't go to the massage tent at the recovery station near the marathon, because for the same reason that you don't want to do a lot of static stretching, if you do some kind of massage, you're just further inflaming and irritating already damaged muscles. For the very same reason that we don't want to do a massage, we do want to do an ice bath. We are all about reducing inflammation right now and not irritating those muscles. Now, later in the day after your marathon, I want you to keep focusing on eating as much as you can. There's really no way you can overeat after a marathon, and staying really hydrated. If you do want to go out and enjoy an alcoholic beverage or two, have fun, enjoy it. You've definitely earned it. Just be aware that it's going to impact your recovery to a certain extent, especially depending upon how much you drink. So just keep any post-race celebrations maybe a couple days after the marathon, and hopefully you can just have a few drinks and celebrate that way. Because if you have too many, not only are you going to risk some additional dehydration, but you're also going to be negatively impacting your sleep that night. And that's really the next step in this process, is ensuring that you get as much high-quality sleep as you can. So even if you were able to take a nap earlier in the day, I still want you to try to aim for a ridiculous amount of sleep. Go to sleep at 10 o'clock and try not to wake up until 8 in the morning if you can. I know a lot of runners, me including, struggle with sleep the night after a marathon. That's okay. We're just going to do the best we can, but do everything you can to increase the sleep hygiene of that night of sleep. So bust out the sound machine, put on the nice eye mask, really try to keep your room cool, and use some blackout curtains if you have them. Try to get as good of sleep as possible, because this is where most of that repair actually occurs. So I do like to see runners wait 2 or 3 days to get a massage, but if it's been that amount of time, go get that massage, enjoy yourself. And now we're coming to the point of this recovery process where active recovery is better than passive recovery. You know, in that 24, maybe 36 hours post-marathon, you definitely want to just chill and kind of let your legs recover by themselves. Recovery is a process that happens no matter what we do after exercise. And part of that is just leaving them alone, letting them recover, and not inducing any additional damage. But after 2 or 3 days, you have the opportunity to engage in some active recovery. Go for a walk. Go for a very easy bike ride. Do a very easy yoga sequence. Anything that gets your heart rate elevated slightly. You know, if we're talking about zones, I'm thinking zone 1 or even zone 0. Before you get to that heart rate, you would be in zone 1-4. And the goal here is just to stay active, to get a little extra blood flow to your legs, to keep all those exercise byproducts, getting them cleared out of your muscles, really improving the circulation, especially in your extremities like your feet. And this is really going to help you recover in the days after a marathon. Because if you're just going to spend a week on the couch after the marathon, you're probably not going to feel great after that week is up. And after 3 or 4 days, this is where you can start doing what I would call training light. Now, of course, I really believe you should take about a week off of running after a marathon, but you can do some cross training. If you wanted to get on the bike and do a very easy spin, if you wanted to do a very light strength or core workout, I would stick to body weight. Let's not do any kind of heavier weightlifting. But really the goal of this exercise is restorative. We want to stay active without formally exercising. And then after about a week where you are getting in a little bit of active recovery every day, you're keeping those sessions very easy, you're keeping them very light, intensity is super low. After about a week, and maybe up to 10 days if you're feeling really banged up from the race, that's where you can attempt your first run. Now, the first run I like to describe as a diagnostic run. It is there not to gain fitness, not to do anything we would try to do in training. It's really to diagnose yourself of any niggles or particularly sore aches and pains that you might have after the marathon. So go for a 20 to 30 minute super easy jog, preferably on a soft surface like this wonderful grass that I'm filming on right now, and just see how your legs feel. This is a fact-finding mission for you. Are you feeling really sore in your left quad or your right Achilles? Do you feel any particular hot spots that you can now work on with self-massage? Can you do anything that identifies where you are really sore, or if something doesn't quite feel right? This first easy run is going to help you do exactly that. And then you can implement a reverse taper where you gradually get into a little bit more and a little bit more heavier training, so that a month after the marathon, you're back to pretty much full training. Not the hardest workouts that you're ever going to do, but you're back to training a little bit more regularly. And this is the process that I would use personally for my marathon. You know, if you have access to a pair of Normatec boots, I think that kind of compression can be really helpful in the day of or the day after a marathon. So that's another idea for you. But these are the basics. These are the fundamentals, and the fundamentals work the best. If you want to hear more fundamentals from the world's best runners, I interviewed 9 elite athletes on their favorite recovery strategies, and you can download it at the link under this video. It's called Our Little Black Book of Recovery and Injury Prevention.